Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and this is issue 87 of Build Your Own R2D2 from Deagostini. This is all like a small self-contained issue, this one. All we get is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bits, and they're all metal, and they're all quite substantial, quite meaty. This is apparently the dome support frame. Now, looking at the instructions here, I've already done one of my unusual getting things ready episodes, so I've actually got some screws ready for it, most of which came last time, but I did have to dig around for a couple of other ones. And we're basically putting together this little triangular piece. We're not using the bearing quite yet, that and those two screws come later. We've got, these little triangular bit. There's one of these that's different, it's got a spiky bit on it, so it says you do that one last, so I'll put that to one side. We're using these two, which are the same. They're going on there like that, and there's 4 screws that hold that in place. So I've got a set of 4 screws already. As ever, I'm doing one at a time, but not tightening them down fully, just to make sure everything lines up. They do have 2 little locating pins in the middle of the 4 screws, so you pretty much can't get it wrong, but you probably can. If you try hard enough, I'm sure you can get it wrong, so I'd rather not. So it's just as easy to get them all started a little bit first and then go back and finish them off. That's that. And then it says to do the other one over here, so again we'll put that one on there. Use my next set of 4 screws. Doing exactly the same again. Getting them all started, just a couple of turns. Make sure they line up properly. There we go. And then the last one, obviously I can tighten down fully and then go back and do the others. Now the last one, as I say, is that one that's got the extra blob on it. Which you have to get the right way round, so it's going that way round, so I can still put it down like that and do the last 4 screws that I've cunningly already got prepared. It's almost like I've organised something and planned it and got things worked out for what I'm going to do. Just unfortunate I didn't get things worked out as to what I'm going to say. That would be like a whole different generation of model making for me. So I'm getting these tightened up again, and that is almost there. That's his dome support, main assembly completed. Then we're putting the bearing onto there. Right, it says there's a snug fit in the central casting where it's held by a retaining cap. So I think we've got to get it that way up. Doesn't matter which way up that goes, it's got no top and bottom. So that is a snug fit in there. It's not overly snug, but it's a fit. And then that holds it in place with 2 more of these screws. Except it doesn't. Those screws are too big. It's not those 4 screws. It's 2 smaller screws than that. Which are probably those 2 that are in there from a couple of issues ago that I didn't open. Because they normally seem to give you 1 spare of most things. So I did have one of these spare from, obviously, the 12 that I've just put in. They didn't give me any spares. I did have extras, but they were from previous spares. So it looks like it's actually these ones. So the 4mm ones just wouldn't fit through that hole. But they do, they're a nice fit. So we'll use those. I'm not sure exactly what diameter they are, but there's 3 of them in that packet. As I say, Deagostini, if you're listening, sort out your screws. It's the only thing that I've had issue with on this build, apart from that time when you said you couldn't take payment but because you hadn't actually tried. Sort out your screws. Just send us what we need for that issue in that issue, with a spare if you like, fine, that's not a problem, but don't send us a screw that you're going to use in a year's time, even though you give us a box eventually to put them in. It's just rubbish. Sort your screws out, Deagostini. That's completed. That's fitted, and we don't do anything with it for now, apparently. I'm sure we're going to be putting it onto the body and then doing things with it. So the next issue, which I've got sitting over there, I'll be filming momentarily, is the bottom panel with the main switch and the charging socket. So that'll be interesting. It's all definitely starting to come together. I'm liking the look of R2 now. So thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the build, and I'll see you soon for the next part.